Welcome back to Book Break. Today I am sitting out here in the sun feeling very cheerful with a big stack of uplifting books next to me to talk to you about. These are all books that will make you smile. So starting with one I have been anticipating for a very long time, I've got my proof copy here of Yours Cheerfully by AJ Pierce. So this is the sequel to Dear Mrs. Bird, one of my all-time favourite books, to be honest. Now we are returning to the same wonderful characters in Yours Cheerfully. So this is about best friends Emmy and Bunty, who are still reeling from the horrors of the Blitz, but are putting on a brave face and are determined to make a go of it. So it's really about bravery and female friendship, and it's also about the really important role that female workers played in the war effort. Just to prove how happy that book is, the sun came out right as I was talking about it, right into my eyes. Then I've got this charming book, The Village Green Bookshop by Rachel Lucas. So this is about a woman called Hannah who moves to this delightful Cotswolds village to start a new life there. But it's a very, very tight-knit community where outsiders aren't always initially welcome, especially outsiders like Hannah who come armed with such radical ideas as setting up a bookshop in the post office. So she definitely hits some bumps in the road, but in this gorgeous little village, Hannah and her son start to finally find their joy. Sofia is Not Obliged by Ayisha Malik is a fab book. This is about unlucky in love Sofia Khan, whose boss convinces her to write an expose about the Muslim dating scene. I know it's a cliche to compare book characters to Bridget Jones, but it's just such a good comparison. Sofia Khan is so funny, and in this book we follow her as she meets even more eccentric characters on her dating adventures in search for stories for her book. So it's a really funny, really romantic book that smashes stereotypes about Muslim women and dating. The lighting in this video is going to be all over the place because the sun keeps coming in and out from behind the clouds. In Bring on the Blessings by Beverly Jenkins is 52 years old when she discovers her husband is having an affair, divorces him, and finds herself the richest divorcee in town with a cool $275 million in her pocket. So she uses this money to buy a town, a historic town that was founded by freed slaves after the Civil War, and there she sets up a centre for foster children. So it's a complete escape from reality. It's a Hallmark movie in book form. Then Tokyo Ever After by Emiko Jean. So I am a huge fan of the Princess Diaries series, so I was very, very excited to see this Japanese-American revamp. This is about Azumi, who has always struggled to fit in her very small, very white Californian hometown where she lives with her mum, until one day she discovers a clue to her long-lost father's identity. He is literally the crown prince of Japan. So we get to follow her as she journeys to Japan and learns all about this culture that's new to her, all while wearing tiaras and ball gowns, being hounded by the press, and being followed everywhere by a bodyguard who is actually pretty cute. In Boy Queen by George Lester, all of Robin's friends are heading off to university. Meanwhile, Robin has been rejected by all of the drama schools he applied to and isn't sure what to do with his life next, until he discovers his local drag scene and finally feels like he belongs. So this book is all about the joy of finding your path, finding your community, and believing in yourself enough to follow it. Then I've got Love is for Losers by Vibeke Brueggemann. I'm sure you've heard me talk about this before. I will never stop raving about this hilarious, queer, sex-positive, body-positive YA novel. Phoebe isn't talking to her best friend. Her mum works with Doctors Without Borders, so she's always volunteering at the front lines of the biggest humanitarian crises, so Phoebe is very worried about her a lot of the time, and she's pretty overwhelmed with exam stress. But when she gets a job volunteering at her local charity shop, she meets the best group of friends, including potential love interest Emma. Dial A for Aunties by Jessie Q. Satanto is a murder mystery rom-com. Great combination there. That is one big celebration of mothers and daughters and of Chinese Indonesian culture. So it starts when our main character, Mehdi, accidentally kills her blind date, and calling in her meddlesome mother and aunties to help only makes everything a lot worse. So now Maddie has one weekend to pull off the family business's biggest wedding yet, cope with the fact that her ex just showed up again, who she's still in love with, and escape murder charges. For the second half of this video, I am relocating because the garage across from my house started their loudest building project yet. So I'm not outside anymore, but I am standing next to some nice greenery, which hopefully will help continue the uplifting theme. So the next book I've got here is The Light Years by Elizabeth Jane Howard. This is the first book in the Cazalet Chronicles, which is a whole series about the Cazalet family, following them through the generations, through the challenges and ups and downs of their life. And it all starts in this first one, The Light Years. So in this book, we spend 2 months with the Cazalets. All of the Cazalet siblings with their spouses and children return to the Cazalet family home for 2 idyllic months one summer. So this is the first in a beautiful and beloved saga. Then I've got 2 classics here about unstoppably cheerful orphans, starting with Pollyanna, who is a little girl whose father taught her to play the glad game, find a way to be glad about any situation. And she really does. Pollyanna goes through a lot of hardships, but she always finds a way to be optimistic. And calling someone Pollyanna-ish can kind of be an insult now, calling them sort of naively optimistic, but really it's never a bad thing. And then in Anne of Green Gables by L.M. Montgomery, Anne is different from Pollyanna in that she's not just happy about every situation. In fact, she's a bit of a daydreamer and often mourns not being the beautiful romantic heroine of her dreams. But she's got such a passion for life that just gets her through every situation and wins the hearts of everyone around her. And the book is also just adorable and hilarious. The scrapes that Anne gets herself into while she's daydreaming about something else are brilliant. And then I've got 2 uplifting non-fiction books here to remind us that wonderful things do happen in real life too, starting with Making It by Jay Blades. Jay Blades is a TV presenter and furniture restorer. He's the star of the show The Repair Shop, and he's very beloved now. But his life hasn't always been easy, and in his memoir he talks about how he rebuilt his life after some of the hardest things that he's gone through. So it'll really restore your faith in kindness and community. And then Stronger by Poorna Bell is a really empowering manifesto about female strength. So Poorna Bell turned to weightlifting while grieving the loss of her husband and discovered strength she never knew she had. She's now a competitive amateur powerlifter who can lift twice her own body weight. So this book completely challenges everything we've been taught about female strength and completely separates it from weight loss to show us all how we can tap into our inner strength. And finally, some beautiful poems to make you smile. So this collection is Poems to Fall in Love With. The artist Chris Riddell has chosen his favourite poems about love and illustrated them in his gorgeous trademark style. His artwork really brings these poems to life and just captures the universal experience of love in all its forms. So if you're looking for even more uplifting reads, I will link here to a video we made last year all about books with happy endings. And I'd also love to hear your own recommendations for uplifting books that make you smile. So do leave your suggestions in the comments below. And I'll see you next time!